We're on.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I should say good morning, and welcome to another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network. And today we are coming to you live from the Clarence Turner Gymnasium here at Camden High School in Camden, New Jersey. What a day we have. 4 exciting games, part of the Camden Shootout. I'm Jacob Schwartz, and with us today, special guest today, the CEO of the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network, Mr. Robert Page and Mr. Ron Finch. Gentlemen, it's great to have you here today at the Camden High School. And our first of 4 matchups today, we'll have Paul VI versus Paulsboro, 2 very well-respected South Jersey programs. Ron, your first thoughts on what we can expect in a South Jersey thriller?
I think you can expect 2 teams that are going to be desperate. They have pretty decent records. Paulsboro lost their last 3, so they're going to look to get on track. And both these teams face daunting tasks as far as the state's concerned. Paulsboro, they have to go through Group 1, and then maybe if they get past the South teams and the Central teams, they might have to play a good team like Bound Brook. But as far as Paul VI, it's really rough because you got Eustis, who they just beat 70-67, and also you got St. Joe's and a lot of the tough parochial A. You got to go through that. That's like the Big East, and they have to get through that, and that's pretty tough.
Well, the biggest story today, Paul VI really could have used a big-time name in DeAndre Dovar, but that has changed. In the beginning of the season, DeAndre tearing his ACL prior to the offseason from Philadelphia's Roman Catholic High School. What an impact he would have been here today against a tough team like Paulsboro, a team that relies, again, mainly on speed, a team that, very well could be, I guess that could really determine the outcome of today's festivities.
Yeah, I expect this to be really 2 desperate teams. That's what makes it a really good game.
Well, Paulsboro is coming in riding a 4-game winning streak, the 4-time South Jersey champions. Rob, you know this team very, very well, but before we get to your take on today's game, we will have we're set to go with the national anthem. It's Paulsboro and Paul VI.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wonderful job again by the lovely late Whitney Houston, by the way. As the Camden Showcase is about to get underway, let's bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast here at the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. That would be Rob Page. Rob, you know these 2 schools very well, Paulsboro and Paul VI, who have both had experience, especially Paulsboro, who the last 2 years has made it into the Group 1 State New Jersey Championship. What makes this team any different than the team they were a year ago?
Well, the big difference this year is that Paulsboro has less firepower offensively, but they're great defensively. They're very scrappy. They'll come at you. They'll pressure you. and they'll create offense from that. Last year, these two teams met in the same event, and Paulsboro won 73-69 right here in the same event. So look for a real good game today. This is going to be a good matchup. Getting ready for the playoffs for both teams, and we'll see what comes of this.
You know, the one good thing is Paulsboro has a pedigree. Year after year, they're always in it as far as Group 1, so they have something to lean on as far as their past, as far as going into the state tournament.
Well, there's definitely a lot riding in this game. Again, as mentioned here today, both these teams, and we're going to look at the starting lineups for both teams. Up first for the Paul 6 Eagles. And Paul the 6 is going to counter with sophomore Hartnell Hayes, senior Justin Ryder, along with senior Keenan Wise, Ryan Reese, and El Qaeda Hidalgo, acquired off-season from Life Center Academy in the New Jersey area. The big loss, again, as mentioned, DeAndre Vilmar tore his ACL in the beginning of actually not even the season. In fact, he didn't even play any games during the season. I think it was actually the first week of practice. I'm told he went down with an ACL injury. And Tony Devlin, again, the longtime coach at Paul VI for Paulsboro Red Raiders. Eric Diaz, Sharon Quarles. You might remember his brother, Darius Quarles, had a standout career at St. Joe University. DeAndre Blue Eli, Kyle Jones, and Deron Holloway. The officials for today's game, Turl Farrell, Marty Sattel, and Ken Wilson. We're underway for the Camden Showcase, the first of 4 games, as today's games are being aired on the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network, and you can visit our website at it'sallaboutsports.com. Quarles finds the man he's looking for as Quarles gets the ball back. That was actually Eric Diaz is wearing number 4. It's hard to, you get very confused because Diaz and Quarles both have the sort of, I guess you could say, muscle-like, because they're both football players. They play during the fall. The ball stolen. Here comes El Qaeda Hidalgo, stolen by Holloway, a speedy running back, also on the football team.
It looked like Paulsboro had a little trouble trying to diagnose their zone.
Again, this we know that Paulsboro loves to play a very tight type of zone. Here's Keenan Wise with the basketball. Goes into the hands again of Ryder, the left-handed shooter. Back in the hands again of Hartnell Hayes, down to John Calvello, who I guess was getting the last-second start. Now, the original book had actually said that Calvello was going to be coming off the bench. Well, he is a starter today. His wide shot, no good. The rebound again by Kyle Jones. Good defensive pressure, Ron Finch, by the Paulsboro Red Raiders. And they answer right on the other end thanks to Kyle Jones.
That was a nice drive.
And then answering right back, John Calvello.
I like this pace.
Never underestimate the power of the Italian John Calvello. I've seen him a lot during the offseason and during the season. That's a guy that gives you a double-double. Rob Page, I'm sure you would absolutely agree on that because we've both seen this guy.
Yes, he does. He will give you a double-double. Sometimes I notice under pressure he'll crack a little bit if you get to him. And that's the key. If he plays relaxed, he's a very solid player.
He really is I absolutely agree. So we'll be Paulsboro ball. Another turnover again.
It seems like both teams are having trouble. They're both playing zone, and they're not diagnosing the zone. They're not really moving the ball in the middle where the zone is vulnerable.
Well, that's Paulsboro's style. They come out like that. Paulsboro can go down 20 points. 17 points and come back and beat you because that's just their type of play.
Well, these teams definitely right now are having some, I guess, first quarter type of jitters as the score again, as mentioned, is tied at 2 here in the first of 4 games here at the Clarence Turner Gymnasium. This school home to the both men's and women's all-time South Jersey League scorer. That would be, Annie Payton and, of course, the great DeJuan Wagner.
Yes, and then today we also have at 1 o'clock following this game will be Rancocas Valley versus Haddonfield at 1 o'clock.
That should be a very good matchup.
And then they'll clear the gym. And then we have the big game, the legendary game, Camden and St. Anthony's at 4 o'clock, followed by a very good Bordentown team against Cherokee.
First foul of the game, by the way, was called. And the 2-point basket scored by, I believe that was Justin Ryder.
Justin Ryder's found a little home there on that right elbow.
Actually, I should say it was by Ryan Reese, not Rise. It was Ryan Reese. Or was it?
Nice move.
On the other end by Eric Diaz.
Nice move.
On the other end, that Calvello will have an offensive foul. It's going to be on John Calvello. Well, wait a second. It's going to be called Paulsboro. I thought it was a loose ball foul.
I thought it was over the back.
I think everybody thought that in the building thought that was over the back.
Yes, I did also.
Diaz called for his first personal foul. Justin Ryder, though, credit with the basket before. Calvello will go to the line, and he will score.
Actually, the Paulsboro coach is looking for an explanation from the referees.
Everybody in the building is looking for an explanation. Again, Ryko Casale and Haddonfield will be played at 1 o'clock. They will likely clear the gym to get set for the 4 o'clock matchup with St. Anthony and Camden. What a matchup that is going to be. These two teams have met again, as mentioned, in each of the last 3 years, and Camden has, St. Anthony, I should say, has won the last 2. Eric Diaz with back-to-back baskets.
Yes, and with a little bit of history there. South Jersey and St. Anthony's. Nobody has beaten St. Anthony's from South Jersey since 1978. Wow. That was when Camden beat them.
That's a very interesting fact.
Yes, Camden beat them in 1978 with the Dennis Still and the great Billy Culberson.
And that's, that's definitely going a long ways. And, since that time, remember that 1978, remember Bob Hurley has been coaching over 4.5 decades. In fact, Hurley is undefeated, I believe, against Camden. And just 2 years ago, we were all here at this gym, Rob, and we saw an instant classic that featured nationally ranked players Torian Thompson and Marcus McDuffie. As Eric Diaz has got it going on here, and Ron, you mentioned something about sloppy play on both sides. Eric Diaz has really picked it up here with 7 straight points.
I tell you what I do like about Paulsboro. They're really winning the backboard game.
That's 9 in a row now for Diaz. And Tony Devlin has seen enough. He wants and calls himself a 30-second timeout. And looks like Rob Page, what can you say? You said it yourself. This team, Paulsboro, can either go down by 20 or maybe go up by 20. Right now, it's the Eric Diaz show with 9 in a row.
Yes, they can. Paulsboro in Group 1 has really dominated the last few years. And this year it looks like it's going to be the same. They have a big matchup if they get that far in the state. Well, actually, the South Jersey Finals against the number 1 seed Woodbury. Paulsboro comes in number 2. They get past that game, they may make it to the rack.
How good is Woodbury?
Woodbury is pretty good. They're
okay.
good.
Well, we've seen Woodbury again with Jazir Noel and Aaron Estrada, but we'll talk about that in a few moments because right now we got ourselves a Paulsboro and a Paul 6 matchup. Franz Simpson, again, has mentioned his program, always a good program, coming in at 15 and 10 as the ball goes out of bounds, and it will belong again, as mentioned, to Paul the 6th. As right now, Diaz has led the way with a 9-point performance. Dumping it inside. Here's Calvello. Shot won't go. Good backdoor cut. Good decision again. And now here come the Red Raiders. They're looking to push. Ball, you would think maybe is going to go back into the hands again of Diaz. Quarles, he's immediately fouled, and they'll call it on Alqueda Hidalgo.
You could tell they're quicker. You can see the speed factor.
Absolutely, you can tell that Paulsboro is a lot faster. Even the bigs are playing faster than the Paul 6 bigs. We see DeAndre Vilmar again, as mentioned on the bench, a torn ACL. Not even the first game of this first practice of the year, and what a big impact he could have been. This was a guy that came in, a 2-time Philadelphia Catholic League champion who averaged no more than 15 points and was probably expected to be the star of the team. As Alqueda Hidalgo gets the ad one, and he'll go to the line.
They needed that one.
That was a big type of basket. Again, 9 in a row by Eric. It was by Paulsboro. Eric Diaz, 9 in a row for Eric Diaz, and Alqueda Hidalgo takes advantage of that. The foul is going to be called. Looks like it's going to be the second foul of the game on Kyle Jones as Hidalgo delivers.
Sideline, right now!
Shot won't fall again, as mentioned by DeAndre Blue Eli. And I believe that was the one who got. Well,
Eli has a lot of potential.
I notice a problem for Paulsboro. The 50-50 balls are all going to Paulsboro. Paul, the 6th, they're struggling. They're getting out hustled.
So score the basket for DeAndre Blue Eli. Keaton Wise with the personal foul.
Wise, that's his first.
This kind of game that's close, the 50-50 balls, you have to be break even with that. If the other team out hustles you the whole game, you're going to end up losing. You're going to end up regretting how you lost.
Yes, you will.
And DeAndre Blue Eli on that completes the 3-point play. And the score now 14-9. Less than 3 minutes again left to play in the Camden Showcase, presented by the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network. What a day we're expected to have. Paulsboro and Paul VI, Rancocas Valley and Hadfield, always a good type of matchup. And then, of course, probably the matchup that could possibly have a standing room only crowd. Nationally ranked St. Anthony will take on Camden, and then Bordentown will take on Cherokee. I'm looking forward to that 5:30 matchup with Bordentown and Cherokee. Here's Ryder again.
Yes, that Bordentown team has a lot of talent. They're coming out of the Central Jersey. That was possibly a matchup that Camden could see if they get out of South Jersey and Bordentown gets out of Central Jersey in the state semifinal game.
Big 3-point basket by Keenan Wise, and then a delay of game warning called on Paul VI. Again, delay of game warning has been called on, I believe, on head coach Tony Devlin. 14-12. Paulsboro again on top. Nice move inside by Blue Eli. He's fouled hard by Hartnell Hayes. And again, Ron, you were mentioning that you could just see how much faster this Paulsboro team is. So remember, this is a team that mostly consists of football players.
Yeah, they tried a 2-1-2 press, and they went right through. Paulsboro went right through the presser, and they got a late attempt.
Exploiting that defense, as you said, my friend.
I don't even, you know what, Voice? I don't even think I would try to trap a team that's quicker.
Well, what would you do?
No.
I would just sit back in the zone and dare them to shoot.
Yes, sit back and dare them to shoot, exactly.
Because you speed a quicker team up when you do that.
Yes, you do.
It's hard with, like in football, when you're playing that one-on-one type matchup, and everybody knows the faster guy can always win. As DeAndre Blue Eli with 4 points. Again, Teron Holloway is a football player. Sharon Quarles, he's a football player. Rob, we've seen these guys a lot during the fall season. I mean, we saw Teron Holloway. He was like a pinball machine. He was a fun player to watch. Hidalgo swatted away by Eric Diaz, also a football player. Came up with some big plays during the season. We saw that in a couple of the football games this year at Paulsboro. Ryder inbounds the basketball, finds his man Calvello. Another, again, the zone is on both of these teams as Calvello's three falls short. Quarles comes away with a rebound, and here come the Red Raiders. They're on their press. We're under 2 minutes again remaining here in the first quarter play. Three-pointer is good again. Blue Eli's got it going on here. First it was Eric Diaz with 9 in a row, and now 7 in a row for DeAndre Blue Eli.
Blue Eli came to the scores desk to let us know that he is 6 feet tall.
He came to work. That's one thing we can definitely say.
I just want to clear that up
here today. Devlin trying to get his team to move the ball and take the right shot. And that was the perfect example of good ball movement as Justin Ryder. I think they're going to say that was a 2-point basket.
Eli with another big shot.
Shot won't go for DeAndre Blue Eli, and now here comes Paul VI. Here's Ryder in a little trouble. Jump ball. No, they're going to say he traveled.
Was that a foul or travel first, Robert?
I think that was a travel first. He tried to split them, and he got himself caught in the air, and there was nothing he could do.
It's definitely hard to believe because I thought that could have been a jump ball before that could have been a travel. Andrew Zuccarelli into the game for the Paul VI team, and in for Paulsboro is going to be Nate DuBois, the talented senior. Quarles for 3, and he can shoot the long one. His brother Darius played here at Paulsboro.
I remember him.
We remember when Darius was playing here just 5 years ago. Ended up with a full ride to play for head coach Phil Martelli at St. Joe's. So Quarles is definitely second generation Paulsboro, as Zuccarelli is fouled immediately by the speedy Holloway. Blue Eli, after a quick breather, back into the ball game. And here's Ryder with the basketball. Beat up again to Zuccarelli under 35 seconds remaining here in the first. Calvella open. That's the shot that he can make. Shot won't go again. The rebound again by Blue Eli. Look at the Paulsboro Red Raiders turning on the Jets again. Out of bounds it goes. And Coach Fran Simpson looking for an explanation.
He was a little out of control. It's a good move. He's just out of control.
Absolutely. Yes, most definitely.
2-1-2. Corner, Drew. Who's got corner? Andrew. That's his name.
Oh, right.
Take it up the other side.
So Sean Collins looking for that explanation of that no call, and he didn't get one. Back-to-back turnovers for both Paul the Sixth and Paulsboro. Collins looking again for the last shot here, and rightfully so. A 7-point lead for the Red Raiders, looking for the right shot. What a perfect spin move for Blue Eli. Beautiful footwork again, and the Red Raiders running out to a very good start as Blue Eli and Diaz with 9 points each. Ron Finch, definitely good footwork on both sides of the basketball for the Red Raiders.
Okay,
Back with more in the second quarter after this. It is 23-14. Paulsboro leads Paul 6 in the Camden Showcase.
All right, we're back. We're back and ready to go for the second quarter.
Second quarter action again. It's All About Sports Broadcast Network's coverage of the Camden Showcase at the Clarence Turner Gymnasium here at Camden High School. Jacob Schwartz, Rob Page, and Ron Finch with play-by-play coverage of today's Camden Showcase. Paul the Sixth trying to get something going here.
It's been a Blue Eli show.
Yes, it has. Yeah, we have Ron Finch here today down from North Jersey, from Linden, New Jersey, with Coast to Coast Sports Radio Show down here today in Camden.
I just want to say, when you call in and I do my high school show, it's a game changer because my entire show changes to the next level. So I do love when you call in my show, Robert.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Nice move inside by Sherrod Quarles. Quarles now with a 5-point performance for the 6'2 senior, who pretty much could play any sport with a ball, whether it's a football or whether it's in fact a basketball. Rob, where is Sherrod Quarles going to take his talents next year?
I haven't heard anything yet on where he's going to school. That's a very good question because he is a good athlete. He's definitely D3. He can play some low D2 sports. He's very good in football, but I don't know where he's going. I have to check on that one.
Well, John Calvello can check in on a basket. He scores here. Now it's Keenan Wise.
I got to say, Voice, they're mixing up their pressure. So even though Paulsboro's quicker, they're doing a good job of going to the 2-1-2 zone press. Then they just did 1-3-1, and they haven't diagnosis. So they are doing a good job mixing it up.
I have to say this, Ron Finch. Watching this Paulsboro team play, it's like watching a football team play. Just the speed has completely hurt Paul the Sixth here in this first game of the Camden Showcase.
So far they have, but maybe they found a home with this press here because they've caused some disruptions.
But do you notice that they don't have to have a superstar on their team? It seems like everybody on this Paulsboro team can score in bunches.
Oh, yes.
And right now, you've got two players who have done that with both Diaz and the likes of Blue Eli. Good
Nice
ball movement
pass.
again. Another easy two. This one by Kyle Jones. Now, Jones had 17 points in the game last year when Paulsboro won against Paul the Sixth. Again, Kyle Jones in that win in overtime. Had 17 points, and again, a little bit of a different story this year with Paulsboro, and that this team just moves the ball well. Diaz into the lane, kept the basket of the foul.
See, Paul Six better be careful because it's 13 now, and they gotta start to pick it up before it gets out of hand. I'm wondering if the early time has affected them.
Well, That's hard to say. I know Paul the Six had a couple good games this week. They played Bishop Eustace the other day, and they beat them on Tuesday. But Paulsboro has something to show right now because they got upset Thursday by Lindenwold.
Okay.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row as Diaz gets his 12th point. Paulsboro, we're told, losing to Haddon Township, Atlantic City, and then the recent loss, Rob, as you said, to Lindenwold. So this team is really trying to get its way back on track. They're 10-6 in the conference division. They're 14-10 overall as they're getting set to go to return to the Group 1 NJSIA Finals, where they have won once, and that was 2 years ago, and they came up a little bit short last year.
Yes, I think they're going to be back there again this year.
They look like a team. I'm impressed.
So there's a
this
chance
is my
that
first time seeing
when
them.
It's All About Sports heads up to Rutgers, we will definitely be seeing them. And there's a very good chance this team could win it all. I mean, with the speed that this team has, I'd like to see a team that can match up with their speed.
And they're forcing turnovers. This is like the 3rd traveling violation they force. So they're speeding Paul the Six up, and you don't want to go so fast that you're out of sync.
Absolutely. Another traveling violation again, and it will be Paulsboro basketball. Another bad turnover again for the Eagles. Here's Diaz again. He has been the go-to guy here in this first half of play. Finds DeAndre Blue Eli, guarded well again by Ryder. Look at Blue Eli into the lane, gets the and one. And just like you said, Ron Finch, so far this zone has not worked out for the Eagles.
And I'm gonna tell you something. He plays football.
Yes,
that's a football move.
Yes.
He
He gets to the basket so easy. If his shot percentage was up for making baskets, Paulsboro would have won a lot of games.
But that was speed and strength.
Yes, he has both. He definitely has both. He just scored 1,000 points a week ago, I believe. Last Saturday, I believe he scored 1,000 points. He is a great athlete. Just has to learn situational basketball at this level. So hopefully he'll catch on to that in these next few games going into the tournament.
And he's doing quite well here in this one. He's got, along with Eric Diaz, he's got himself 12 points each between both Diaz and Blue Eli. So 24 of the 33 points have come between both Diaz and Blue Eli. As Ryder trying to get something going here for the Eagles. As it's all Paulsboro in this one, 33-16. They lead here in the first of our 4 games of the Camden Showcase. For It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network, you can visit our website at it'sallaboutsports.com.
In the second half, we'll have from It's All About Sports sportscaster Terry Collins will be sitting in for the second half of this game.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to having Terry on our show. We have certainly high respect for Terry.
Yes, Terry's a Woodbury guy from Woodbury High School. Knows a lot about Paulsboro. He played in the rivalry games.
Oh, man, you might want to get a timeout here because they're getting out. They're not getting beat. They're getting out hustled.
Another nice move again by Kyle Jones. He's got 6 points here, and this one looking like it's getting out of hand here in this first game.
And here comes Paulsboro again. Eli with the ball, and he's definitely going right to the basket.
Another football move, as you called, Ron Finch, by DeAndre Blue Eli.
You know what it looks like? Look like Paul the Six is discouraged, and then the lead a balloon. If you don't play with a little more confidence,
and you don't actually think that this team has quit just yet, because it kind of seems like
no, it's not that they're discouraged. There's a difference between discouragement and quit. They just have to play with a little more confidence. They're not playing with confidence. They're playing hard.
Well,
they have to play a little more confidence.
Well, Tony Devlin has got to try to talk to this team and try to calm this team down at halftime. Well, as Blue Eli to the line again.
Let me iterate and say something here. Paulsboro makes you play their game.
Yeah,
if they're making shots, they're hard to beat. I don't care who they're playing. If you concede to play what they want to play, they're tough to beat.
14 for DeAndre Blue Eli, and right now it's 37-16. It's the largest lead of the game for the Red Raiders.
Good pass inside.
They need him.
That was the basket that Paul the Six was looking for, but they've got to get more than just that. John Calvello with 6. In fact, both him and Ryder lead the way with 6 points each for Paul the Six. Blue Eli again in a little trouble. Dumps it inside. Another good backdoor cut as he finds Joseph
I'll
Childress.
tell you what's another problem is Paulsboro's getting to the basket at will and either scoring or dishing and getting easy basket after easy basket
Yes,
after
they're
easy
getting
basket.
very high percentage shots. They're getting high
Well, they're
percentage
moving
shots.
the ball well. They're playing
Sure
good team basketball. That's
Good
what Sean
steal.
Collins instills in his Paulsboro program. Calvello, shot won't go again. Throws one up, and they'll call this one on Diaz, as again, that was a much-needed foul by John Calvello. And that was just a last-second effort that somehow, I guess, Calvello was able to get that call. Diaz not happy with himself on that. Calvello to the line here.
Guys, here's what's important. I think you want to cut this lead to between 13 and 11 to make it reasonable so you're more encouraged going into the half.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes, you have to. It's going to be tough because Paulsboro gets better as the game goes on. I mean, I've seen them, like they were down to Haddonfield by 17 in the fourth quarter and came back and won the game. So they could really turn it on as the game goes on because they're in shape. They can run.
I see.
Calvello is leading the way with 7 points between both himself and Justin Ryder. That's really been the whole offense here for Paul the Six. We haven't seen much of Keenan Wise. We haven't seen much of Andrew Zuccarelli, as the foul will go against Sharon Quarles.
I tell you, I looking at Paulsboro, it's my first time seeing them. If there's a Group 1 team that's really good, you better be really good if you're going to be Paulsboro.
You better be ready.
I'm going to tell you right now, as far as Group 1.
I want to make a quick correction. That foul was on Andrew Zuccarelli, not Sharon Quarles.
You better be in shape, too.
And one more thing about that. Paulsboro, these kids are Paulsboro kids. They don't come from anywhere else. They're Paulsboro kids. They're a very small school, probably of 500, 600 kids. And they have a pride down there that is
And they have a
unbelievable.
pedigree because
Yes, I admire
every
these-
year they're always in
Yes,
it.
yes,
So
I
the
admire
kids
these
believe
kids.
that.
Yes.
Especially these Paulsboro kids, because this is definitely a good working town area. Everybody's very passionate about Paulsboro basketball. And we have all been to a game at Paulsboro High School. We've seen this town come out and show support for their high school. I mean, they're very, very passionate. Again, as mentioned,
Their
about
football
this town.
team just won their 37th something state championship.
Absolutely impressive. And we
37 out of
talked to-
38.
And Rob, we talked to their coach actually during the fall.
Yes.
He has done a heck of a job. As DeJuan Jackson Edwards, he's on the board with his first 2 points. Foul called, as looks like it's going to be called on Kyle Jones.
They're actually today wrestling the districts today. Paulsboro, out of 14 wrestlers, have 14 wrestlers seated 1 and 2.
I
in the
know they're a
districts.
wrestling powerhouse. I do know that.
So I'll tell you something. Paulsboro football, wrestling,
Paulsboro
and basketball,
sports in general.
is something else.
It's very
I mean, the
impressive.
football team just won the South Jersey sectional championship.
Wow.
At Rowan, led by Kyle, who's on the court right now, number 11. He's the quarterback. And Deron
we've
Holloway
seen him.
is actually on the bench right now. He's the tailback, number 1 on the
But
football.
you know what, fellas? That's an uneasy alliance between the basketball and football coach because the basketball coach wants you playing all year.
Yes.
And then you're coming from football late, and there's always a little bit of tension. I just know from up north that's an issue with teams.
Right. Well, Paulsboro doesn't have that issue. These
Okay.
guys, man, there's something about them, man. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's still 41-20, again, as mentioned, here at Camden High School. And right now, Paul the Six moving the ball very well, and a nice basket, a good touch pass as they find their man, Justin Ryder. Ryder now with a 9-point performance. But again, this is almost Paul the Six almost giving Paulsboro a taste of their own medicine with that blazing speed, that good touch type of passes. Sean Collins is about to call a timeout, and it's going to be a 30-second timeout with 2:34 left to go here on the Camden Showcase here at Clarence Turner Gymnasium. 41-22. Paulsboro still on top of Paul Six.
Now, we'll stay here, ladies and gentlemen. It's only a 30-second
Looks like we are going to stay here.
It's only a
We are
30 second.
staying here on the. We are back on the air. We are going to stay here. And let's talk with our again, Ron Finch, Rob Page. Gentlemen, your thoughts so far on the performance of Paulsboro?
I'm very impressed with Paulsboro, but Rob, I want to know who's their competition in the South again?
Woodbury.
Woodbury.
Woodbury's their competition in the South.
Where's the game going to be played at?
Against
Woodbury?
At Woodbury. They split this year. They're in the same conference. But when Woodbury beat Paulsboro in the first game of this, the first matchup, Paulsboro did not have their 3 big guns.
And like you were saying, Rob, Terry Collins, the announcer of of Woodbury, is going to join us, and he'll give us a little bit of information that we need to know about what could be a possible Group 1 state championship between those two teams. Now, would those two teams, Rob, face each other in the state championship?
No, not the state championship, the South Jersey championship game.
Still would be,
yes.
Okay, so they would have
It would be a championship game before South Jersey, and the right to move on to the state semifinal.
Now, who made the last basket, I believe, for Paulsboro? I think it was...
fouls on number 12, DeAndre.
I believe it was number 1, Deron Holloway. I think scored that last basket.
Deron's not in the game, though. It wasn't him.
I thought it was
Calvello
Charles.
with the missed shot. Again, the ribbing no for Calvello. 2:20 again left to go here in the first half, and the score is 42-22. In the Camden Showcase, Reese is going to be called for the personal, but again, Paulsboro just absolutely out-rebounding, outplaying, and out-manning this Paul 6 basketball team.
That's exactly what I was actually going to say. That's the story of the half, is the backboards and the hustle. Yeah, and you got to turn around and box out, even if you're in a zone.
Now, Rob, we've seen Kyle Jones at the quarterback. What do you think is, what would you say he's better at, basketball or football?
Wow.
Because that's a tough question, I guess, to ask
That's
you.
a tough one, but I tell you what, a lot of people haven't.
Football.
A lot of people really haven't seen his football game at its utmost potential. The kid can throw. The kid has an arm. He's a great football player.
We've seen his.
Nice.
It's not just even like his arm. We've seen this guy get on the ground.
I
was referring to him actually as a younger Donovan McNabb.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Good footwork. Unbelievable football.
Yes.
His IQ, I think, is through the roof when especially
it is.
in football.
Yes.
Right now, his Paulsboro team leads 43-22. Big basket by Elkaida Hidalgo, the former Life Center Academy Warrior, coming in this offseason. Just spoke with his father, Orlando, during the offseason. He just mentioned that they were just having some personal problems with former NBA player Never Nervous
Purvis. Yeah.
And we all know that Purvis Ellison runs a college-type program. In fact, I was told I don't remember who by media, that the season for Life Center is over.
Yes, I definitely
forfeited the rest of their
season.
Yes,
I do know that. I talked to Purvis a few days ago. Their season has been called off due to injury.
Remember, this team likes to bring about 6 or 7 players.
Now, let me ask you a question. Where did Purvis's son go?
He's at St. John's.
Okay.
Purvis Ellison has had a great career himself at Louisville. Had a stellar NBA career over 14 seasons.
He actually came on my show.
And his two kids, Asia Ellison and his son Malik. I should say they have a third child who is also a track star.
Wow. Yes.
A lot of people didn't know about that.
Yes, I do know about that. I'm a track guy.
Rob, I know definitely does. Anything that we know that Rob Page knows everything there is to know about track and field.
And he knows South Jersey like
sure
a
does.
book.
Anything
you want to know, ask him.
I'm
telling you.
I try to keep busy, guys. This is what it's all about, man. I love seeing kids have fun and compete. This is actually a gateway to a free education for these athletes through sports. Get your books, get your education taken care of, and play on the athletic note, and you can get a scholarship and go to school for free.
So with 1 minute remaining here in the first half of the Paulsboro, Paul the Sixth, South Jersey teams, Haddonfield meets the actual town of Paulsboro, New Jersey. Here is Calvello, the big man. Back out again to Zuccarelli with 35 seconds to go. I'm thinking Tony Devlin's got to be maybe going for the last shot here. He finds Reese. He finds Zuccarelli. Zuccarelli back inside to, looks like Keaton Wise. Wise again, the 2-3 trap again is on. Hidalgo throws one up. Shot won't go, and I don't think that was the shot that Tony Devlin, again, you could see by the expression of his faces where we turn to our right. Wise throws one up. Wisely throws one up. And he'll go to the line for 2 shots here. That was not a bad move, Ron Finch, for Keaton Wise at all. Good to get a last-second type of shot, maybe get something going, try to get that momentum going here in the second half because, again, it has just been all Paulsboro. Their lightning speed has just completely hurt this Paul 6 team. And with DeAndre Vilmar shelved for the season, this was a guy that was much needed for Paul 6 because Vilmar certainly can relate to blazing speed.
Yeah, and you could tell they're offensively challenged today.
So Wise goes 1 for 2, and he's got himself 4 points. Final 10 seconds here in this one. And again, this is what we're talking about. Blue Eli, easy 2, coast to coast. And he leads the way with a game high of 16 points. Sean Collins has got to be very impressed by his team's performance. Final 2/10 of a second to go. Paul the 6 looks like Hidalgo is going to throw one up, and that will do it. And the first half over. What a performance by this Paulsboro Red Raider offense. Again, at least close to 45% shooting in the first half, but it was the team play that they did, the ball movement. I thought I was watching the San Antonio Spurs in the first half of play. DeAndre Blue Eli among 2 players double figures with a game high of 16 points. Paul the 6 has got to find their leader right now. Justin Ryder, I should say, leading the way with a 9-point performance. But Ron, somebody from Paul the 6, Rob Page, also has got to get something going here as we go to commercial break. 46-25. Paulsboro leads in Game 1 of the Camden Showcase here at the Clarence Turner Gymnasium in Camden High School.
Camden High, the castle on the hill, the high, a school, a haven, a home, a family. For 4 years, it was my home, my family. I take great pride in saying that I came out of the high. Over the last 100 years, it's been home to thousands and thousands and thousands of students. But 100 years is a long time. After 100 years, things break down. Despite investments and the efforts of our hard-working custodial team, things stop working. Things start breaking. Things start leaking, start falling, and things start growing. For too long, too little has happened. We could spend a long time, let's be real, a very long time talking about the whys. And then nothing would happen for even longer. So let's talk about action here. And when we need action, we've got more than $100 million coming our way. More than $100 million. It'll mean a brand new building on the same site, the reconstruction of the castle on the hill back into a world-class facility. Finally, entering the 21st century. A traditional district public school with not one, but 2 brand new gyms and locker rooms. With not one, but 2 brand new cafeterias. With new science lab where kids can actually do science. With a mock trial room where kids can prepare to be our future leaders. With hallways and classrooms that are neither too hot nor too cold. With walkways that don't flood. And with the auditorium that is safe to sit in. This will be a space that pays respect to the history of the high, while honoring what the school always set out to do, and that's prepare our kids for the future. So stay involved. We all know the history here. We know what's been promised, and we know what's been delivered. We're further along now than we've been before, but stay involved. For now, it's a good day for Camden, and it's a great day to be a Panther.
Oh, look, we've got fees.
Ew, really?
Oh, it's our Verizon bill.
Look at them. Line access fee, administrative fees. There are even taxes on top of them.
Decent people shouldn't have to live like this.
Did I get it?
T-Mobile ends surprise fees and taxes. That's right. With T-Mobile One, taxes and fees are now included. 4 lines, $40 each. All unlimited, all in. Learn more at a T-Mobile store.
It's Ram Truck Month at Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Spirit has over 400 vehicles to choose from and 70 trucks on the ground ready to roll today. Drive home a new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab for as low as $149 per month. Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will get you driving today. Rates start at 0% with terms up to 84 months. For over 25 years, the Delaware Valley's smartest shoppers have been saving thousands on their new vehicle with the Spirit Saver price. Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is right off I-95 at the base of the Commodore Barry Bridge. You're only minutes away. Online 24/7 at SpiritChryslerDodgeJeep.com. Spirit, we're selling excitement. Spirit.
For 4 years, it was
Hi, my name is Megan Hunter. I'm the owner and director at Groove Dance Fitness Training. We specialize in dance cardio and different genres of music. We also specialize in nutrition, meal plans, and meal prep service. So if you're ready to get fit, come rock with us.
Camden High School, Clarence Turner Gymnasium. Jacob Schwartz, the Camden Showcase, along with Ron Finch, my partner in crime. And we welcome in our fourth member of the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network broadcast, our fourth member, Terry Collins, a Woodbury native. Terry, good to have you on here. Terry, of course, is a member of the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network team, and it's good to have you on here. And you seem to know a thing or two about Woodbury. You grew up in the Woodbury area.
Yes, I did.
We were having, along with Rob Page, the CEO of It's All About Sports, we're mentioning the big South Jersey group matchup. What can you tell us about that?
Well, everybody's anticipating a rematch, third game, Paulsboro versus Woodbury, going into the Group 1 South Jersey tournament. But as we know, it will be a couple games that both teams will have to look out for that are going to be possible upset alerts. Hopefully, like I said, if they can get both teams can pick up 2 or 3 wins, they'll be in the finals. And as everybody knows, there's a big history of good games between Paulsboro and Woodbury as their crosstown rivals. So.
That third matchup is always a matchup where everybody knows, both teams know each other, so it just comes down to who executes, who wants it more usually.
Well, the thing we're looking forward to the most about that matchup is going to be the style, I guess you could say, of Eric Diaz versus, or even Sharon Quarles as Jazir Noel. And because the thing that I like the most about this Paulsboro team is you don't have that true point guard because everybody can be a guard on this Paulsboro team. We're seeing that again, Rod, here today as Paulsboro has just taken control of this game. Paul the 6th, by the way, is 12-10, 4-4 in their conference division, have won 4 in a row, while Paulsboro has lost its last 3 games. In the losing effort last year, Keenan Wise led the team with 11 points. Second half again underway here at Camden High School Clarence Turner Gymnasium. Jacob Schwartz, Ron Finch, and Terry Collins here on the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network.
That was like a dagger to put him up
2-point
24.
basket scored by Sharon Quarles, and he's got himself 7. The second, I guess you could say, the next generation of Quarles basketball. Ron, we know Darius, his brother, very well. Had a 4-year career with Phil Martelli at St. Joseph University.
Mm-hmm. And he had a great career at Paulsboro.
He sure did. He did have a really good time at Paulsboro, who, again, Rob Page mentioned this, and he mentioned it so well, that Paulsboro always has had good talent in all sports level. This has always been a very good basketball type of program. Xavier Lundy came out of this school. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine what it would have been like if Seth Lundy had decided to stay in Paulsboro instead of go over the bridge and play for Roman Catholic, as John Calvello gets the basket. He misses the 3-point play. He's got 11. Kyle Jones, the also quarterback, as Calvello. Actually, that was Keenan Wise with that basket.
And Paulsboro has a big history of family athletes coming through the town too, where you have second-generation cousins, that continue the family name in each sport. So
it is, I have kind of noticed that ever since I really started working with Paulsboro, Terry. I absolutely agree, and we have some members of our staff from the It's All About Sports Network who actually not only still live in but grew up in the Paulsboro area, so they know a thing or two about the Paulsboro family. Basket good for Hartnell Hayes, the talented sophomore, but right now it's pretty much the same thing we're seeing in the first half. Paulsboro just running this Paul 6 team off the court. And coming up next, game number 2 of the Camden Showcase, Rank-Cocos Valley and Haddonfield. 2 very well-respected programs we're going to see on the floor. And I like that matchup with Rank-Cocos and Haddonfield. Though it's a new year for Rank-Cocos Valley, the big loss by that talented, because remember, Rank-Cocos Valley a year ago had that really talented left-handed point guard. I believe it was Adam. I want to say, his first name was Adam. I'd like to remember his last name, but Rank-Cocos is always, Jay Flanagan has always had great success in the South Jersey area. Ron, what can you tell us about Rank-Cocos Valley?
Well, I just remember them being a powerhouse. They're always in the mix of things when it comes to South Jersey Group 4. Lenox City has had a run the last couple of years, but now Rank-Cocos Valley is up there now with Sean A. So it's going to be Group 4 South is going to be very interesting this year.
Well, we're looking forward to that next matchup. And then, of course, we'll take a little bit of a break. They'll clear the gym here at Clarence Turner so that fans will be able to make their way in for the true North and South matchup. Camden High School will take on nationally ranked St. Anthony High School. Camden looking for their first win since 1978 over St. Anthony as Al-Qaeda Hidalgo.
I noticed Paul, the 6th,
gets his 7th point.
They're trying to go a little harder with their trap to try to get more turnovers. That's the only way they have a chance in this game.
Right.
So Paul the 6th, you say, is definitely trying to press a little bit more.
Yeah, they're playing a little more desperate, which they have to do. But it doesn't seem like it's working too good because Paulsboro's too fast.
Yeah, and what choice, I guess you could say, do they have?
Yeah.
Right now, down again, as mentioned by 18. They have to press. They have to attack. Big basket for Hartnell Hayes.
Well, earlier, when I was by the Paulsboro bench, I heard Eric Diaz mention that I think the team is pretty much tired of losing. As you mentioned, they lost the last 3 games. So, they're coming here today against a good Paul 6 team looking to step up their intensity. So.
Well, they're looking very sharp again, as mentioned. But right now, Paul the 6th, I guess you could say the wheels have shifted, I guess you could say, here at Clarence Turner. Wise for 3.
That's
got
big.
it, and all of a sudden,
that's big.
After this was a 21-point lead, Paul the 6th is creeping up again thanks to some good second-half shooting. Keenan Wise at it again, and Keenan now with 11 here and he has tied himself up with John Calvello. Ron Finch, what do you think Tony Devlin said to this team at the end of the first half?
You know what? You just said just keep chopping wood, and then you could cut this deficit a little at a time, and that's what they're doing.
Hayes swatted away from behind, but it will stay Paul the Sixth basketball. But I'll tell you what, Paul the Sixth has awoken this Haddonfield crowd here in this second half of play. Keenan Wise, John Calvello, 11 points each, and it's 51-38. We're already at the halfway point here in the third quarter.
And Keenan Wise had 11 in that game last year against Paulsboro in a losing effort. So
you did mention, yes, you absolutely. We want to thank Terry Collins, by the way, for writing down this sheet of paper that we have right here at our table. And because of you, Terry, I don't think I ever would have figured that one out, though. So we thank you again, as mentioned.
But also, Terry, there's got to be a part of you that's kind of scout. As a Woodbury guy, you're kind of giving your synopsis of how they would match up with Paulsboro in your mind as you're watching this game.
Hold that thought, gentlemen. Another three-pointer again. This one by Alcada Hidalgo. What is going on with this Paul the Sixth basketball team? 10 for Hidalgo. And now, after a 21-point deficit, Paul the Sixth is within 10. Quarles again. Diaz is denied. But DeAndre Blue Eli found once again in what was once a one-sided type affair with pretty much a Red Raider team that was able to do whatever it pleased. The wheels have just come off. Paul the Sixth is on the run, and I think Sean Collins might want to think about calling a timeout and try to regroup here.
Well, you know, that was a big offensive rebound. I think if Paul the Sixth can rebound and limit to one shot, they could really make a serious comeback. They have to figure out how to hustle and get those 50-50 balls somehow to get even closer to this game.
Last foul, by the way, was called on Hartnell Hayes, and he is now, I believe, one foul away from being disqualified. That's the 11th foul called on Hartnell Hayes. DeAndre Blue Eli, again, is still leading the Red Raiders in scoring with 18. Make that 19 for Blue Eli. And that was two very much-needed baskets by the South Jersey program. Wise for three, and that looked like that had the distance.
Oh, that looked good.
From our angle, even with Coach Tony Devlin again blocking the path, we could actually tell that looked like that was a three. Paulsboro trying to get something here. Diaz again in trouble. Splits the gap. Finds his man Holloway. Finds Quarles. Quarles three, no. Rebound again. Again another rebound, DeAndre Blue Eli. This guy has done it on both ends of the ball, offensively and defensively. But now it's the Eagles trying to get something going here.
And they've been able to take this one possession at a time, not really trying to do too much too fast, so it's kind of working out for them.
And Terry, that's the name of the game here, is taking it one possession at a time. They've done just that. Another miss, but it's going to be a two-shot foul. I think that's DeAndre Blue Eli. This foul will go against, I believe, it looks like Zuccarelli.
That's his football instincts taking over, where he just overpowered the guards and just
I think DeAndre Blue Eli, and if anybody ever watched Lamar Odom, a left-handed type of guy, was very skinny, was the type of guy that could get in because of his quick footwork. And I think Blue Eli kind of reminds me a little bit of that. He's to the line for two shots. He hits the first. And now with Hartnell Hayes again, sideline.
5-0.
That foul, by the way, was called. It was not on 5. It was on 50, Ryan Reese. So Reese was the one guilty for the personal as Blue Eli goes 1 for 2. Again, a 20-point performance here today for DeAndre Blue Eli. Hidalgo, you know he can shoot the long ball, but that one will fall a little bit short. Now, and when he gets going, Rod, he is almost tough to bring down. He about a year ago, Hidalgo reclassed as a freshman. So I believe he is still a sophomore when he could have actually been a junior because, again, his freshman year, he reclassed at Life Center because you are able to do that in a what's called, I guess you could say, a independent types league. Okay. So he was able, again, to reclass. The jump ball, by the way, will belong to the Eagles here as we're approaching 2 minutes left to go. Here on the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network from the Clarence Turner Gymnasium at Camden Showcase. Jacob Schwartz, again, Ron Finch, and Terry Collins joining us as Calvello's shot will not go.
This whole reclassing thing has kind of turned into like college, like redshirt now.
Yes.
I think we can definitely agree that this has been a back-and-forth battle. But right now, Paulsboro, what was once a team that could get anything, has gotten next to nothing.
But now, Paul, the 6 haven't taken full advantage of it because they're ice cold too, and that could cost them. They could cut this deficit if they could score.
Calvello with a much-needed basket.
Number 23, John Covello.
Calvello now with 13 points as he overtakes Keenan Wise. The lead again is now at 11. Holloway.
Who's got him? 12.
Blue Eli for three. Got it again. A much-needed three for Blue Eli.
Well, the coach is not happy. He wanted the players to push up on Eli, and they didn't, and they paid for it.
He's continued his on-out assault on the Eagles. A game high of 23 points. Back into the ball game again will come Nate DuBois. Sharon Quarles will take a quick seat.
Traveling. Red Raiders will inbound.
Tony Devlin's putting his hands up like, where's the foul? That's what I want to know. I want to know where the foul was, too.
Well, we know Tony Devlin really does can get into the game here. He can get very, very intense. And Devlin's very surprised that it wasn't a travel call. Instead, a personal. It's going to be on the Eagles. It's going to be, I believe, on Hidalgo.
You know, Terry, Paulsboro kind of righted the ship without taking any timeouts. They were kind of teetering, but I guess the coach trusted the players in this situation.
And sometimes you like to see, how good your team is against adversity, So, that was a chance for them to be able to see, without calling a timeout, how much can they fight through it. And, those type of situations will take your team a long way when it comes playoff time. So.
And right now, Eric Diaz has been unable to deliver, but so have the Paul 6 Eagles.
Yeah, actually, Diaz had an early 9 points early in that first quarter.
Remember, he had that 9 straight in the first quarter, and really hasn't done much since. DeAndre Blue Eli has filled in nicely for him, and the 23 points that he has is the big reason why Paulsboro is in the position that they're in. Back into the ball game for Paulsboro is going to be number 15, Dawan Jackson Edwards. Both teams right now have gone down to the possession, and it's just been a miss after miss after miss. I believe it's been almost 3 or 4 straight misses by both teams right now, Ron.
Yes, and Paul 6 is still trying to pressure, and they can't quite get the steals and get Paulsboro corral where they can get a bunch of steals and get back into this game.
Well, another whistle and foul is going to be called. It's on Paul the 6, Justin Ryder. That's going to be the second on Ryder, the talented senior, who I believe could play Division II, possibly even play Division III. I used to think this was a guy that could play Division I basketball because he's had great experience over the years, played with Team Final in the AAU circuit.
Okay.
But I guess people don't seem to beg to differ because I haven't really been hearing much about his where his college, his activity has been. Okay. But nevertheless, with 30 seconds left to go, at one time, Paul the 6 got this down to a almost 10-point game. Now the lead is back to 14. Paulsboro again continuing to move the ball very well. That shot will not fall. And now the Eagles with an opportunity here. Hidalgo finds Reese, finds Ryder, 5 seconds remaining. Here's Wise for 3, got it, and it's an 11-point game, and that'll do it.
And there's the kind of shot that teams can ride that wave, as you mentioned earlier, Ron, into the fourth quarter.
Terry, that was a much-needed 3 again, as mentioned by Keenan Wise, who overtakes John Calvello with 14. Back with the fourth and final quarter after this. Paul the 6 and Paulsboro, the Camden Showcase, the Clarence Stern Gymnasium.
You really?
Oh, it's our Verizon bill.
Look at them. Line access fee, administrative fees. There are even taxes on top of them.
Decent people shouldn't have to live like this.
Did I get it?
T-Mobile ends surprise fees and taxes. That's right. With T-Mobile One, taxes and fees are now included. 4 lines, $40 each. All unlimited, all in. Learn more at a T-Mobile store.
Clarence Turner Gymnasium. Paulsboro, Paul VI has been certainly a game of runs as Paul VI, after Paulsboro really took control of the entire first quarter, or first half, I should say. Paul VI has made its run. Keenan Wise among three players in double figures here for the Eagles. He's leading the way with 14 points. John Calvello right behind him with 13. We are down to an 11-point game. Don't forget, if you want to see good basketball coming up this Monday on President's Day, and a happy President's Day, by the way, to all of us here at the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network. As a three, not a good decision again by Zuccarelli, and Sean Collins, again, as mentioned, not happy with his team's performance. Another bad foul. This one's going to be called on Nate Du Bois, excuse me. That's going to be, I believe, personal number one.
Right now, Paul VI is a more desperate team. That's why now they're getting offensive rebounds. They're not as quicker than.
But it kind of seems like they're turning into what Paul VI was. They were a desperate team. You said that in the first half, originally, Ron, you said that Paul VI had no answer for Paulsboro. You said that this team was desperate and that they were looking for anything that they could get to capitalize, and Paul VI has done just that, and now it seems like Paulsboro's the one that's desperate for a big play, and they haven't been able to convert on that because they have missed they've missed their last 4, if not 5 shots. Wise, I believe, went 1 for 2. He's got 15, and the whistle and foul will have
Terry, I think the coaching staff of Paul VI is upset because he wasn't supposed to give up baseline. Their primary goal with their defense was to take away the baseline and make him shoot up top because Paulsboro's getting to the basket over and over and over, and I think they're getting frustrated with that.
If Paulsboro's going to the line here, they need some foul shots. They need some points.
And their guards are very strong and aggressive, so you see where Eli and Quarles are both getting good inside looks, and they're actually rebounding well, too.
Quarles is definitely a force to be reckoned with, plays outside linebacker during the fall season. And again, I'd like to know where he's going to head to play school as Quarles with 8. And Nate Du Bois finally on the board. This was the rebounding we were talking about in the first half. This was the first half performance that we saw out of the Red Raiders. Maybe they were waiting until the fourth quarter to try to turn on the heat. Both teams moving the ball very well.
Yes.
Paul VI now starting to do that. Reese back out again to Wise. Back out again to Hidalgo out of bounds. Oh, they'll call a whistle on the Red Raiders.
I actually thought it was a pretty good call. I thought he got bumped.
It was definitely some contact.
Diaz, that's his third person.
So 3 fouls on Eric Diaz. Hidalgo hits the 3, and we're down to a 10-point game.
Hidalgo's hot.
On fire.
Hidalgo with 13. He's the third Eagle in double figures. The press again is on. Diaz in trouble. Lost the ball. Here's Hidalgo. If he can catch it, it could be under double digits, and a foul called. It's going to be on Zuccarelli. Again, the Eagles had a golden opportunity on that. A bad pass again by the Eagles. Hidalgo was unable to deliver, and then Zuccarelli.
Even if you underthrow him, he could gather the ball and score. But if you overthrow him, the whole play dies.
But I think that the Eagles were panicking. But I don't think they needed that fast break type opportunity to slow it down and try to get that much needed shot, Terry Collins.
That's the exact thing I was thinking. Listen.
And just like you said, DeAndre Blue Eli makes his team pay, or makes the Eagles pay to the line he's going to go. He's been the leading scorer here today. He's got 23 points.
And I was thinking the same thing, Jacob, when I seen that steal. I'm thinking slow it down, get everything under control, because this really counts now. You need every possession here. So, we're better off slowing it down, getting the points instead of, like Ron said, overthrowing them and ball out of bounds. So
DeAndre will have another.
You don't want to force those shots, like you said. You just want to take your time and be very patient as Blue Eli goes 1 for 2 with 24 points as this game back to an 11-point game here with 2 minutes gone by here in regulation. This is anybody's ball game again. What looked like this was a one-sided affair for Paulsboro has now become really an open opportunity for both teams. Ryder missing. And again, Paulsboro still has yet to get this game again under double figures. Again, Paul VI was defeated by Paulsboro last year. This was an overtime game, a 73-69 game just a season ago. Kyle Jones led the way with 17 points. Keenan Wise had 11. Another bad steal once again. Here come the Red Raiders. They're looking to push here. Quarles goes coast to coast,
nice
right hand, no
move.
good. But there's that offensive rebound and another big putback. That's, I believe,
good job by Paulsboro.
Dewad Jackson-Edwards. He's got 4.
They're doing a good job of keeping this game out of single digits. They're getting basket after basket in crucial moments of the game.
Well, they're also, again, like you said, the Red Raiders are definitely scoring in bunches.
Mm-hmm.
Foul called again on Paulsboro. That's their 6th foul, so they'll be 1-1 both ways. And now we are going to have another foul. And now Paulsboro, so both teams are going to be in the penalty here. Big opportunity again for the Eagles at the line, which, again, many of their shooters shoot 80% or better.
And if they're going to be in the line down the stretch here, they're going to need to definitely capitalize, because what better way than to pick up points without the clock moving.
And now the Eagles break back. Hartnell Hayes, he's going to be careful here. Hayes again with 4 fouls here in this one. Elkader Hidalgo is a guy you definitely, if you're Paulsboro, do not want to foul. This is a guy who shoots 90% or better.
And he had a great game in that Paul VI Winter Classic last week as they upset Bordentown.
That's a definitely big upset. Oh, and a rare miss by Hidalgo. A rare miss by Elkader. As the Red Raiders again looking to push here. Quarles. He gets it back again, finds the man he's looking for. Now it's Quarles again with it. The trap again, the 2-3 zone is on by the Eagles. And now Paulsboro really just trying to ice the game here.
We're using some clock
out here.
I don't think they're necessarily going to run the clock, but I think they're going to use some clock and then wait to get a great opportunity to score.
Well, I was going to say, if you're Sean Collins, it's not a bad idea maybe to spread that 4 quarters and just swing the ball around.
Excellent
like you
point.
said, they just got a good opportunity again to go to the line here. They got 2 shots. Again, the Red Raiders have 2 shots coming up. Eric Diaz will come back into the game, but not before we step away and take a quick break. Again, coming up next, Rancocas Valley at Haddonfield, 4:37 again left to play in the Camden Showcase. In Game 1 of the Camden Showcase, it's all Paulsboro, 63-50. They lead Paul VI.
At Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Spirit has over 400 vehicles to choose from and 70 trucks on the ground ready to roll today. Drive home a new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab for as low as $149 per month. Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will get you driving today. Rates start at 0% with terms up to 84 months. For over 25 years, the Delaware Valley's smartest shoppers have been saving thousands on their new vehicle with the Spirit Saver price. Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is right off I-95 at the base of the Commodore Barry Bridge.
Camden High School, the Clarence Turner Gymnasium, 63-50. It's been all Paulsboro here in this one.
Diaz is about to actually check back into the game.
Nate Du Bois is at the line. Eric Diaz is set to check back in, and Eric Diaz again, who's had himself a very impressive game. In fact, scoring the team's first 9 points early in the first quarter. As Du Bois goes 1 for 2. He's got 3 points. Wise for 3. Big shot again for Keenan Wise, and Wise leading the way with an 18-point performance.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, Ron, looking ahead to Group 1, the 2 key pieces for Paulsboro to be able to defeat Woodbury.
Now, Wise actually, I should say, is leading the way with a 17-point performance. And Calvello lead the way with a 14-point performance.
They're going to need Diaz and Eli definitely to play big games the rest of this way.
Well, right now, we are seeing very physical type of basketball. Wise again. He's got the and one. And for the first time today, the Eagles have actually gotten this game under 10.
I don't understand why Paulsboro would press. They could just sit back in the zone with a lead. I don't know why you would give up, because there's a risk. They're giving up the layup, and now an and one. You could back off. You got the lead. 4 minutes left. You can hold the ball, get a good possession, milk the clock.
Wise to the line. I believe he's got 20. At least they'll put that up on the scoreboard here at here at the Clarence Turner Gymnasium.
Keep him there. Go, stay in it. Stay in it.
Shot will not fall for DeAndre Blue Eli.
Oh, I think that's out on Paulsboro.
So 18 now for Wise. That can't be right.
Got one right night.
Red Raiders will inbound.
Go. Now, Keenan. Trap him.
3 on the way, no good again. Attempted by Quarles, and right now the Eagles making a very
That was
serious
a big
push.
steal.
That one's stolen again. Here's Blue Eli coast to coast. He's all alone, and it's 26 now for Blue Eli. Timeout again on the floor with 3:44 left to go. It's 66-56, and Ron Finch, you had a comment you'd like to make.
Mark that down if they win this game at 3:44. That steal, because they could have cut it to 7, and now it's 11-point lead because of that turnover. That was
It's actually a
turnover.
10-point lead.
I mean, 10-point lead, but they could have cut it to 6, and it'd have been nerve-wracking time, because now you're 2 possessions away, and all of a sudden you had this big lead. Now you're nervous. Now with 10-point lead, maybe you could just kind of be a little more calmer now. You know, with a chance to hold the ball and execute, win the game.
These two teams, I feel like, are rushing their shots, and they've done it a lot here in the second half, which is why it was a spurt of both teams going on a drought for almost 2.5 minutes and could not buy. These are two teams that could not buy a bucket for 2.5 minutes and could not buy a field goal, and were fortunate enough to get foul shots. Here's Justin Ryder with a left hand, good, and Ryder.
Paulsboro can't afford a
big basket
that
again
could have been
for
a steal.
Justin Ryder. Ryder now with Justin Ryder now with 7. The lead again is back to 8. Remember, this is as close as Paul the Sixth has been all game. Foul call. Both teams again are in the penalty, and this is going to be called on Justin Ryder, and that's going to be personal number 4, I believe, for Ryder. And Eric Diaz, or I should say Sherrod Quarles, comes into the ball game.
Oh, box out, gentlemen.
So now it is Ryder who is 1 foul away from being disqualified.
Cardinal, let's go. Justin, you got shooter.
A rare miss again by Diaz, and I don't even think Diaz even knew he missed that shot, because he's standing there for at least 2 seconds. Big miss again. Big offensive rebound again by Hartnell Hayes. Ryder, Hidalgo, he can shoot the long ball. He does not
rushed
connect.
that.
But there is again Wise, fouled, and he'll shoot 2 more. That could have been a big 3-point play opportunity. And again, Sean Collins certainly showing his displeasure to referee Marty Sattel. Now, by the way,
I think he has a point. I don't think there was. I think he was straight up in the air. You're allowed to do that.
I know these 2 referees very well. Terrell Farrell and Ken Wilson both have reffed in Philadelphia, so I know a thing or two about these 2 Philadelphia Catholic League officials. Of course, the Catholic League, one of the most prestigious leagues in the entire country, as Keenan Wise will go to the line here. I really like, by the way, this PA announcer. Did it ever sound, is it not, are we not listening to Dave Zinkoff a little bit? The whole and another?
Zink.
I definitely feel like we're hearing another version of Zinkoff.
Big miss there on the free throw line.
Wise with 22 points, though. And Terry, I'm definitely impressed by this second half performance by the Eagles.
All right, and like I told you last week, I watched these guys play a tough game against Bordentown, so they're no stranger to competition.
I like how they fought, win or lose. I do like the fight that they had, being down 21 points.
Well, when you say that they fought, it's not over yet.
No.
And let's remember, last year we seen overtime from these 2, so that could be something that's looming.
Well, here's Diaz again to the line, and that's 2 big missed foul shots again for Diaz. And this guy, again, as mentioned, who was one of the top foul shooters on Paulsboro's team, has missed his last 2 shots again. Paulsboro has just gone cold here in the second half. And how about 3 misses in a row and a big air ball again. And now here come the, I guess you could say, here come the Eagles with an opportunity here. Under 3 minutes to go. They could get this thing down to a 2-possession game. A 3 could make this interesting. Hayes, he's got to be careful. He's got 4 fouls here. Pulls up, jump shot, good, and it's a 5-point game thanks to Hartnell Hayes' shooting.
Now it's nerve-wracking time if you're Paulsboro.
Trap again, as mentioned, is on. Quarles with 2.5 left to go. Blue Eli into the lane. Shot won't go. Rebound again by Hidalgo. And now for the first time today, here comes Paul the sixth, who can get this down to a one-possession game. Wise shot.
Wow.
3-point game. 24 for Wise. 2:14 left to go. Gentlemen, what a performance with Paul the sixth. And I don't know why head coach Tony Devlin is coming to us. We have no idea. It's a 30-second timeout. Hold that thought. How many timeouts do they have left?
It is a 30-second timeout.
Now, like I said, you're going to see where the pressure from Paul Six is kind of causing some nervousness.
Once you get into single digits and then you get 5 or 6, you start to panic because you're dealing with high school kids and you're thinking, oh no, we had this 21-point lead, and now you start to rush and you're thinking about it at the free throw line, and Paul V, they hustled their way back in.
It's rare to see Eric Diaz with not only 2 misses but to airball has given Paul the sixth an incredible opportunity here in the second half. As again, Diaz has missed his last 3.
And Blue Ivy missed a couple close shots too.
Well, Paul the sixth still has 2 timeouts again remaining, so still plenty of time for them. This has now become, again, as mentioned, a long way from over.
And you can
long way from civilization, as they say.
You can best believe that's in their mind, the 20-point lead that they once had.
Don't take that!
DeAndre Blue Eli was wide open to the left wing. Pass intercepted again. Hidalgo to the lane, and we got a 1-point game.
Nice move by Hidalgo.
15 for the South Jersey native El-Qaeda. And it's a 1-point game, down almost 21 points. The Eagles have fought their way back, and a whistle and foul. Tony Devlin not happy with the call. Ken Wilson, the Philadelphia official,
it was a good call. It was a nickel and dimer, but it was a good call.
Well, it was hard for me to see it because it was a kind of a fast pace. But once again, this is the guy you foul. Eric Diaz, he's missed his last 3 shots, including the last air ball. Back to the line he goes, and this time he delivers. Stopping a string of 3 missed foul shots in a row.
Sometimes you sit and watching games like this, and you look at it and say to Paul Six, like, where was this the whole first half?
He goes 2 for 2. We're back to a 3-point game. Under 2 minutes again remaining. Paul the Sixth was down 21 points as early in the second quarter. Hidalgo makes it a 1-point game again, 4 in a row for El-Qaeda. And it's 1-point game again, 68-67. 90 seconds again remaining. Out of bounds it goes. It's Paul the Sixth ball. Great defensive play, I believe, by Keenan Wise. Ron, what happened on that defense? On that, I guess you could say, on that turnover.
They panicked. They didn't get the ball to the middle, which they should have, and they got to the corners where you could get trapped.
Both teams, again, as mentioned, are in the penalty, so any foul will send either one of these teams to the line. Hayes hit, whistle silent. Hayes again, no good. Wise, no good. Another opportunity for the Eagles, and they can't deliver. Paul the Sixth has got a trap here, as expected.
They need a layup.
Bump and run, shot won't go. Rebound again, it's a fight for the ball. Diaz lost it, now it's Ryder with it. Under 60 seconds to go. Paul the Sixth can take their first lead of the game. Hidalgo, no good, in and out. The basketball gods just not allowing that shot on that one.
I like how they're letting them play.
Whistle silent, that had to be some kind of contact. Holloway, that's got to be contact. That shot won't fall. Both teams again looking for a basket here. Somebody's got to call some contact. They're waiting for blood. Sean Collins is finally able to get a timeout.
There was a lot of contact both ways. Both coaches are furious.
Again, as mentioned, both ways. 33 seconds to go. And again, I will say this. The last thing you want is the health and safety of these players. You've got to at least maybe make a call before somebody gets seriously injured. Time on the floor with 33 seconds again remaining here in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up, as we're going to stay on here on the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network.
Hi, my name is Megan Hunter. I'm the owner and director at Groove Dance Fitness Training. We specialize in dance cardio and different genres of music. We also specialize in nutrition, meal plans, and meal prep service. So if you're ready to get fit, come rock with us.
Back here again at the Camden High School Clarence Turner Gymnasium, Jacob Schwartz, Ron Finch, and Terry Collins, the fourth member of the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network. What a thriller we've had so far in this first of 4 games of the Camden Showcase. Paulsboro again, led by 21 points. Paul the Sixth has fought their way back, led by Keenan Wise at 24 points.
And I noticed going to that timeout that it was a little bit of words between Eli and Diaz too, so you could sense the confusion between Paulsboro players here.
So Diaz brings the ball up and finds his guy, and a backcourt violation is going to be called.
No, it was tipped.
The ball was apparently touched.
It was tipped.
Now, I thought that was a backcourt violation.
It was definitely tipped.
Foul is on number 4.
Tony Devlin better be careful here, or he's going to get called for a technical foul. That's the last thing you want.
That's the last
With
thing
19 seconds to go, he's got to be careful here. And that last foul by Justin Ryder is going to be his 5th foul, so Ryder will leave. He finishes with a 15-point effort.
DeAndre Blue, Eli on the line.
You almost can sense that he's going to miss one of these.
Actually, I should say that Ryder, by the way, left with 5 points, but another big miss again for Blue Eli. And once again, Ron and Terry, Paulsboro again missing out on opportunities. Here comes the Paul the Six Eagles. They can win it here at the buzzer. A foul called on Diaz, and for the first time today, and I'm not sure that was the correct call. I think this would have been a no contact, but it does give the Eagles an opportunity here as Elkader Hidalgo.
Wait a minute. You have all this contact, and there's a little bit of contact here. And now
well, I think it was ticky-tack. John Shady certainly would have gone right after the officials if he saw something like this. This is a guy that comes from the old school days of hard type of fouls. Now you get one pitch, and they'll call a foul on that. Tie game!
That's not a call you want to make in this close
No,
like this.
no.
And especially, Ron, like you said, they've been people falling all over the place the whole last 2-3 minutes, and now you call something like I think he might have hit him with his fingernail.
Yes.
14 now here in the second half for Elkader Hidalgo. He's got 19. Timeout with 14.8 to go. And I think we're going to stay on. Are we staying on here? I believe we are.
You know what? I think I go to Blue Ivy. I think, or Charles. You got to go to your top dogs in this situation where you need a
I don't think you go to Blue Eli in this situation. Maybe you think
because of the foul shooting woes?
Well, you think about using him maybe as a decoy. I think that Tony Devlin's over there trying to draw a play that think that Paulsboro is going to try to draw a play to get Blue Eli. You figure Tony Devlin's over there trying to figure out, if they're going to get the ball into Blue Eli, because this is probably the guy to go to. Mm-hmm. Also, Eric Diaz is another option. And again, every wing again is available. But again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have not joined us, we're here at the Clarence Turner Gymnasium for It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. Jacob Schwartz, Ron Finch, and guest Terry Collins here on the It's All About Sports Network.
I go to Quarles.
Paulsboro has led by 21. Paul the Sixth has come from behind. Should have been a travel. Here is Quarles. Shot is blocked again. Here come the Eagles. Final 5 seconds and a foul called. Paulsboro getting away with a travel, and then how about Hartnell Hayes coming out of nowhere with an
Great block
impressive
by Hayes.
swat.
But it's not over yet. You got 4 seconds. Whether they miss or make, you still got a chance to get a shot to at least tie the game.
Personal foul again will be called on Kyle Jones, his 3rd personal. Teams are already over the limit.
You got to run your best set play with 4 seconds left if you have it in your arsenal.
Once again, Paulsboro looked like they were. Paulsboro looked like they were just panicking.
This is going to be a devastating loss for this team going into this tournament.
And Paulsboro now, if they go on to lose, have now lost their last 4 games in a row here. As what a night, what a second half again for Elkader Hidalgo. And he is the second player with 20 or more points, with 21 points. Timeout again with 4 points. We're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
Back with more after this. 71-68. Paul the Sixth has taken a 3-point lead on Paulsboro High. Because this is a full, I think we're on commercial.
Okay.
We're on commercial, I would think. We're not.
No.
Okay, we are not on commercial. Let's talk to Ron Fitch. Let's talk to Terry Collins. Gentlemen,
I want to tell you this.
Pressure situation. Well,
it's a pressure situation. I think the reason why Coach Devlin called the timeout, he may foul, send them to the line instead of give up a three.
That's actually
they're discussing strategy. I think that's why he called it, to just let them know, listen, there's a certain way we're going to play this.
Remember, remember, this isn't a foul to give, though. But you know that Paulsboro, I'm sure that Sean Collins is finding every way to try to get one of his players maybe to lead in.
You're going to look for your best three-point shooter to get a look. That's all you want if you're Paulsboro.
Final 4.4 seconds to go as Paul VI, down 21 points, has come from behind and is looking once again to make it 5 straight. Diaz again for the tie. No, and Paul VI has come from behind, down 21 points as they defeat the Paulsboro Red Raiders 71-68. 24 points scored by Keenan Wise. He is our It's All About Sports Broadcast Network player of the game, although El Caida Hidalgo, what a second half he had with almost, 14 points, most of which came in the second half en route to 21 points. And for Paulsboro, they were led by DeAndre Blue Eli, a game high of 26 points. Gentlemen, first game in the books. Could you have asked for a better start?
That was a great game. That was a great comeback by Paul. They looked dead. They looked like they were overmatched speed-wise, but they just chopped wood and kept coming back. And that was a good character win.
And I'm surprised that Paulsboro actually got such a good look at that shot. Diaz had a good. You couldn't ask for a better look.
I know.
He had it and almost hit it, but.
You certainly could not have asked for a better way to start the Camden Showcase, as Paul VI now winners of 5 in a row, and they are going to go, I believe, to 13-10 overall on the season. And a tough loss again, as mentioned, for Paulsboro. They go to 14-11 on the year. So coming up next will be game number 2, Rancocas Valley at Hadfield. We'll most likely be joined once again by the CEO of It's All About Sports Broadcast Network, Rob Page. This is Jacob Schwartz for Ron Finch and Terry Collins. Terry, thank you so much for being on with us here at the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network, and we will look forward, hopefully, to seeing you sometime throughout the day. Coming up next, Rancocas Valley, Haddonfield, here in the Camden Showcase, the Clarence Turner Gymnasium. Again, final score, Paul 671, Paulsboro 68.
Camden High, the castle on the hill, the high, a school, a haven, a home, a family. For 4 years, it was my home, my family. I take great pride in saying that I came out of the high. Over the last 100 years, it's been home to thousands and thousands and thousands of students. But 100 years is a long time. After 100 years, things break down. Despite investments and the efforts of our hard-working custodial team, things stop working. Things start breaking. Things start leaking, start falling, and things start growing. For too long, too little has happened. We could spend a long time, let's be real, a very long time talking about the whys. And then nothing would happen for even longer. So let's talk about action here. But when we need action, we've got more than $100 million coming our way. More than $100 million. It'll mean a brand new building on the same site, the reconstruction of the castle on the hill back into a world-class facility. Finally, entering the 21st century, a traditional district public school with not one, but two brand new gyms and locker rooms. With not one, but two brand new cafeterias. With new science lab where kids can actually do science. With a mock trial room where kids can prepare to be our future leaders. With hallways and classrooms that are neither too hot nor too cold. With walkways that don't flood. And with an auditorium that is safe to sit in. This will be a space that pays respect to the history of the Hive, while honoring what the school always set out to do, and that's prepare our kids for the future. So stay involved. We all know the history here. We know what's been promised, and we know what's been delivered. We're further along now than we've been before, but stay involved. For now, it's a good day for Camden, and it's a great day to be a Panther.
Cut no pity, cut no slack.
Oh, look, we've got fees.
Ew, really?
Oh, it's our Verizon bill.
Look at them. Line access fee, administrative fees. There are even taxes on top of them.
Decent people shouldn't have to live like this.
Did I get it?
T-Mobile ends surprise fees and taxes. That's right. With T-Mobile One, taxes and fees are now included. 4 lines, $40 each. All unlimited, all in. Learn more at a T-Mobile store.
It's Ram Truck Month at Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Spirit has over 400 vehicles to choose from and 70 trucks on the ground ready to roll today. Drive home a new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab for as low as $149 per month. Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will get you driving today. Rates start at 0% with terms up to 84 months. For over 25 years, the Delaware Valley's smartest shoppers have been saving thousands on their new vehicle with the Spirit Saver price. Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is right off I-95 at the base of the Commodore Barry Bridge. You're only minutes away. Online 24/7 at SpiritChryslerDodgeJeep.com. Spirit, we're selling excitement. Spirit.
For now.